Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Rico, how are you?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Today we have RicoJay underscore one or two
RicoJay underscore. Just that.
underscore.
Yes, sir. One underscore.
How's your day going, man?
It's going good, man. Jumping out of work, got home, changed up, and I'm here now. And it's a pleasure to be here. Which, by the way, thank you for inviting me to this. I think it's something really cool. I know that earlier you mentioned you wanted to give someone, give people a platform, and I think this is an amazing idea. I think it's an amazing idea, and kudos for starting it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I, I don't want to sound weird, but it really is more for the person in front of me than for me. Just because, although I enjoy listening to everyone's stories,
Right.
I think everyone needs to enjoy that too. In our city, we have so much talent. We have so many people here that are ready to do something,
Right.
but we just got to be that stepping stone. You
Of
know,
course.
I mean, I want to jump straight into it, man. What's a mortgage broker
What?
doing comedy on Instagram?
Oh my man, so these are two different passions that I have. Doing mortgages and being in the mortgage industry, I'm very, very passionate about helping people.
Hmm.
I've been in finance for 8 years.
Wow.
And since I can remember, since I was very young, I've always been passionate about helping those around me and really helping people reach their goals. I get the most pleasure in my heart when I help someone obtain something or reach a goal or get to the next level. I've always found that as something that feeds my soul. I feel like when you find passion in something,
Hmm.
you stop working and you start kind of living. There's a very big difference between existing and living.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of us exist, and I was one of those people. But when you start living, it's I feel like when you start doing what you were put on this earth for. And to me, home ownership is one of the most important things in life. And it's because I feel like it was something that was instilled in me and in my heart since I was a child from both my parents. That one day I needed to grow up and provide for my family and become a homeowner. That
Hmm.
was always a big thing. And I'm passionate about it and I love it. But I also like making people smile and making people laugh. And since I was a kid, I grew up dancing, performing. I grew up on the stage, man. My parents were both performers, they were professional dancers. So I've always been exposed to I guess I don't want to say the limelight, but
Hmm.
in a sense, I was exposed to the limelight, to being in front of crowds, to being comfortable with that, and over everything, making people laugh and smile. And I think it's something that I really enjoy, man. When you can share laughter and a smile with a person, with another individual, you connect on a different level. It's no longer like if you notice when you're able to smile or laugh with someone, it's no longer like an awkward situation. It's not like, okay, cool, this is like the icebreaker, like we're good.
Hmm. So, I mean, yeah, being a homeowner, right, that's the American dream, right?
Right,
But I don't know. To me, not knocking on the ownership that part of your life, which I think is super interesting
right,
as well. But I think people know you. I don't know how many people know that you do that. I know that. I mean, I've been stalking Instagram for a little bit, and I know
right.
you post both your comedy sketches and your mortgage like what do you call tips?
Right, right.
Tips, yeah.
Hmm.
But I think people know you more for all your comedy stuff.
Right. And that's something that I like to keep separate, which this year I'm trying to figure out a way to put it together, make it one thing. Over everything, yes, I make comedy skits and sketches, but I consider myself an influencer. And the reason why I consider myself an influencer is because I'm influencing people to go out and do what they want to do with their life, get more out of life, right? So you're right about that. Not too many people know me for being the mortgage lender. Not many people know me for being the guy that helps people buy homes. Like I'm not really known for that. But because a lot of the times, or not a lot of the times, but these last 2 years that I went on this journey, I focused so much on content creation for comedy skits and sketches
Mm-hmm.
that I totally put that on the back burner. I mean, I've been very active in my community, but it's just something that I feel like I haven't shared with people in our generation. If you speak to people that are, in Generation X, or you see the people that I surround myself in the business, a lot of the industry is Generation X and older.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why you would say that. And I feel like that's why on this platform, my biggest presence is for comedy.
You're beginning to work with people that have been in the industry for a little bit longer.
Right.
You're starting to do that. But I want to start from way the beginning.
Okay.
What was the first thing, or why did you ever say, you know what? I want to make comedy?
So it wasn't even comedy, man. I'll tell you this. One of my biggest inspirations for what I do right now is LeJuan James, Juan Atiles, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not Juan, don't chop me up for this, brother. But Juan Atiles is one of the people that have inspired me the most to become a content creator on social media. He goes by LeJuan James, and his content was kind of the one that I related to the most. I'm 100% Mexican. My family's from Mexico City, but I was raised very with a very, I guess you can say, Caribbean flavor
Got it.
because of the music background. I didn't grow up with mariachi, with banda, with any of that, which I love that music now, but I
Yeah.
didn't grow up with it. I grew up with salsa, merengue, bachata, guaracha, cha-cha. I grew up with all the tropical sounds, so I can really relate to this guy's comedy. And a lot of the um, Latino cultures are very similar.
Yeah.
And by cultures, I mean like Dominicans, Cubans, Salvadoreños, Guatemalans, like from different countries, right?
Yeah.
They're all very similar, and that's why I felt like I can relate. So it's to answer that question directly. About 4 years ago, I had a conversation with my friend Cruz Garcia, which he's also a content creator. He does more vlogs.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with him, and I was like, "Hey, Cruz, I want to start making these videos," because we would send LeJuan James videos to each other all day long. We'd be like, "Bro, check this out. This guy's insane. He's so funny, and it's so relatable." And he would always tell me, "You should do it," but I was always shy and afraid of what people would think, because I knew in the back of my mind what my career path was, what my true passion is. It's helping people, and I knew that being in a professional industry, that could potentially be kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
Right. And eventually I was like, you know what? F it. I'm gonna just give it a go. One of my friends, Chimmy, he invited me November of 2017. He invites me over to a shoot. And this was with Claudia and Melissa.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know Melissa,
Yeah.
right?
I know that. Yeah.
Okay, so he invites me to a shoot, and I thought that I was going to just help him, because at this time, in 2017, is when I started vlogging. So I thought that he just needed help with some video maybe and some like content or something like that, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I'll go. So I show up, and I'm prepared to film, because that's, I've always been the guy behind the camera.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I want you to come out in the skit. And I was like, Chimmy, I've never been in one, bro. Like, what's going on? And he's like, my guy, you're great in front of a camera. You vlog, you should be good. And I was like, I'll give it a go, bro, but I don't know what I'm doing. So he invites me, and we went ahead and did it, man. My followers at that time, I think I was like at 10 or 11,000 followers. And they loved it. And I was like, all right, well, let's run with it. Let's continue doing it. And that's kind of what was my first really, I guess, experience doing comedy. But I always knew that I would get into something in front of people.
Entertainment.
Right.
Do you know what you guys did? What was it?
That first video was one with he has a character named, I think the character's name is Tío Juan, and it was one where supposedly I'm trying to steal a purse from from Melissa and Claudia, and then Tío Juan comes over, and he's like this Superman type of super Tío type of thing, and he kicks my butt and stuff, and it was a really funny one. It was my first experience there.
You know what's funny? I remember when he posted that, and it seems like it was just yesterday, because I think that day. Yeah, I think I was with Melissa. We probably were shooting or something, and she said, "Oh, I have to go do a skit."
Right.
Yeah, and soon after that one came out, but it's already been a year. I mean, or
over a year.
Over a year.
Over a year, about a year and a few months.
Yeah, and you're still on the path. You're still doing it, and so you said he had the character.
Tío, I think it's Tío Juan. Either that or that's the person that he based it off of. Don't quote me on this, because I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I know that it was something like Tío Juan. And that was his character.
So Tío Juan. And then how long after that did Rica and Piper come about?
Rica and Piper. So Rica is a character that him and I came up with, which is a girl character that I have. Rico's girlfriend, my girlfriend, right? So I think it was maybe a month after we did that video is when the Rica character came out.
Okay.
We were coming up with ideas, and we're like, "Hey man, are you down to put a wig on?" And I was like, "What do you mean, like a clown wig?" And he's like, "Nah, like do girl characters." And I was like, I mean, yeah, as long as I'm not like wearing lipstick or anything like that, we're good. And he's like, okay, let's try it. And we were coming up with names, and I was like, well, I'm Rico. Rico, what can be like a well, Rica? Okay, and then that's kind of how that name came up. As far as Piper, I didn't have a name for this character when it first came out, and I'll be very honest. I based this character off of my past.
Right,
Growing up in
let's hear this.
growing up in Oxnard, man, growing up in some of the ghettos in Oxnard, it was that was kind of what I used to see. I grew up right here off of Bard on Terrace Avenue for a big portion of my life. I also spent a lot of my time in the northern side of Oxnard, over by Parque del Sol. I also had a lot of family there. So it was based off of my experiences in life and all that stuff, right? So I didn't have a name for it. I was at my friend Sky Sunner's liquor store, Sam Satakoy Liquor, and we had just finished recording another video with that same character, with Piper. And I was like, hey man, I've been seeing this Ink Junkies challenge that's been going on, and I feel like if I give it a different twist, we can make something happen. And he looks at me like,
I'm gonna stop you. Hold on. Before you even, for the people that don't know, can you explain to us who Piper is?
okay, so Piper is the guy that made me go viral. Collectively, we have 100 million views. And Piper is a character, my cholo character.
Cholo character.
My cholo character, yeah. I'm wearing my house slippers, long socks, my pro club shorts,
Traditional.
pro club t-shirt. They got my bandana on, the short hair, traditional. You know what I mean? The basic cholo look.
Exactly. That's how you do.
So yeah, that's Piper, and as I was saying prior to that, I did the dance. I did did a little something with some 40 ounces, and that's kind of the video that just boom made it happen for me.
And what came about? Because I remember I started seeing that everywhere. And which was the page that I saw it on? Was it on? Damn, I don't want to butcher the name. I think it was WTF Mexican or something like that.
Yes. So it was on a lot of the big Latino meme pages. WTF Mexicans had it. So Mexican had it, and a bunch of other ones. It was just that video. It got to the point where I lost track of how many people were reposting it. Last time I kept track, we were at like 80 something different pages, big meme pages posted it. Radio stations from LA were posting this video. Nice. I actually, I got the Zap band to follow me because of that video. They give me a thumbs up on it. They messaged me. They're like, hey man, this video is super cool. Keep doing what you're doing and keep pushing that video. So it was a really great thing, man. It was really cool. And to me, it was amazing because the song that I was using was Do Wah Diddy from Zapp and Roger. One of my favorite old time songs, man. I used to bump that song all the time. And it was it's still to this day one of my favorite songs. And yeah, to know that the band that like made the song is like hitting me up and saying good stuff, it was the best feeling ever, man.
What other opportunities came from that? Because I mean, once stuff starts trending like that, it's no stopping.
Well, it was just one of those things where I wasn't ready for it. And I tell this to everyone, man. I was not ready for it. I didn't know. My friends were the ones that told me I was going viral. I didn't believe it. I'm like, dude, I just started making videos. Chill. Yeah. Like, viral, okay, 5,000 views. Relax. That's nothing. But then one of my friends is like, no, bro, you have like over 250,000 views. And I'm like, where? And he's like, check Facebook. And I didn't have a Facebook at this time, man. So I checked Facebook, and then I'm like, oh, snap. Like, this video, by the time I checked, was already at 1 million views.
So who posted it if you didn't have Facebook?
I don't know the name. I can't remember the name of the page.
Okay. So it was a repost.
Yeah, it was a repost. Okay. Somebody else took it, and the good thing is that my tag was on there. It's just the person didn't tag me on the video, and then I got in contact with the person, and he ended up like sharing and then putting my name on there. And
got it.
But yeah, it just kind of started blowing up, man. And the thing with content on Facebook is that as soon as one person shares it, let's say for example you share it and you have 700 friends, you have the opportunity of about 300-400 people seeing that video, and then just resharing, and just that video got, I think, over 3,000 shares on Facebook. Wow. And it was just insane, man. Insane. The original video that guy posted, I can't remember the name of that page right now, but the original video, I think right now we're like at 90 million or something like that. I'm not too sure. But I know collectively we're over 100. And yeah, it was just one of those things. It was like fire, man. It just spread. And everybody, I remember, even at work, I had people recognizing me. I was at an open house. I was helping a realtor at an open house. Yeah. And then the kids of this couple that came in and were asking questions about the home, we're like, wait, aren't you Rico? And I was like, hey, go, hold on, don't mention that right here. We're in the professional environment right now. I got my suit and my tie. Hold up. So yeah, it was one of those crazy things, man. And then as far as opportunities, I did get just a bunch of people trying to reach out to me and saying like, hey, you know, we'd like to work with you and we'd like to do this and we'd like to do that. Like I said, I wasn't ready, so I wasn't really. I did not know what to expect. I didn't have content to back it up because a lot of times I feel like when you're gonna post something and normally the stuff that you want to go viral doesn't go viral, but when you post something, you just kind of don't know
Yeah.
it's gonna go viral. You just gotta go with the flow, and that did teach me to just keep creating content. Eventually, something's gonna pop once again, and I'm gonna have content to back it up.
Exactly.
So yeah, opportunities came up as far as like people reaching out and wanting to collaborate. My following grew, which it helps me a lot when brands would like me to work with them.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot as far as like what the negotiation looks like. So yeah, man, I had local brands, you know, hit me up. I had brands from LA hit me up. I was given the opportunity to work with Hispanicize as one of the social media ambassadors,
Oh,
which
wow.
was huge for me, man.
Yeah.
It was huge. One of the coolest accomplishments I had, and this was all within before I reached 1 year creating content like this. So to me, that was insane, man. It was insane, and it was a great opportunity. So yeah, man, a lot of things came from it.
Because I think I'm not wrong, but you've done some live shows with Chimmy, right?
Yes, correct. Oh, that also came up.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that we did a couple shows at Levity Live. One show at Levity Live with the American Me Comedy Tour. Chimmy and I were able to sell out the house.
Wow.
There was about 60 to 70 people that couldn't get in on a Wednesday night. So that spoke volumes of the pool that we had in our community. And honestly, we partnered up with amazing people. Mom and Pop's Tacos, they helped us out a lot. Diego from Mom and Pop's Tacos definitely helped us a lot. He basically became our brand ambassador, man. He was just kind of reaching out to everybody, messaging everybody, getting our help, and also the local community, man. That's when we realized that the city is really behind us, and it was huge for us. We've also had shows in Ventura. And you know, I've been able to collaborate with some pretty cool comedians, which I respect 100% because doing stand-up comedy to me is I couldn't do it.
Oh,
I'm a host.
yeah.
I've hosted, bro, but I could not do stand-up comedy, man. It just next level stuff. I have so much respect for those comedians, man.
And you did those shows as Piper, correct?
Yes, I was Piper, my Piper character, which got a lot of love, man. I was able to get the crowd going, and it was really fun. It was a fun experience.
Is there anything soon that we're gonna see with Piper back?
I'm gonna bring the character back. I'm working on a series, but I'm trying to bring him back in the right way. I feel like a lot of times when people play the cholo character, unless you went through the life experience of going through that, it's very difficult to get those characters on point. So I'm wanting to make sure that it's developed to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. I'm getting a lot pickier with my content, and I want it to be on point. I want to give my audience the best version of me possible in front of the camera. So that's why, to me, I'm developing the character and coming up with a storyline or something that I can be sharing. But you guys will definitely be seeing a little more of Piper soon.
Piper, man. I know you have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
How is that compared to your Instagram?
My YouTube channel is a vlog.
A vlog, okay.
Completely 100% a vlog. I don't vlog as often as I used to because my career takes a lot of time from me. And quite frankly, that's where my bread and butter, that's where I make money and that's how I pay my bills. So I pay a lot more attention to my career because it's the most important thing to me at the moment. And but as far as my YouTube channel, it's a vlog. It's 100% vlogging. Just kind of take you with me. I have a lot of travel vlogs that I did in 2017, 2018.
Got it.
So that's kind of like where my audience gets to know me on a more personal level and gets to kind of see who my friends are, gets to see my experiences. Last year I was in New York. I was in not last year. I'm sorry, 2017. I was in New York, Vancouver, Las Vegas, Dominican Republic.
Wow.
Just different places that I went to, different places that I traveled to, and you guys get to see kind of my experiences through there.
What are your plans, right? Because you obviously have a lot going on, and you know, with your personal life, with your career, with your Instagram comedy. I hate saying Instagram comedy because I feel like it kind of belittles it, but it's just like your work, you know?
Right.
Like, what do you have planned? Who do you want to work with? Because I know you recently worked with Gabby.
Right.
And I mean, she's something else. She's been in it for a good while. How did that come about?
So Gabby, I met Gabby at I met her at Hispanicize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met her at Hispanicize. She was part of the meet and greet group,
Mm-hmm.
and extremely cool, man. Extremely humble too. Extremely humble. I met her there, and I recognized her immediately. I mean, she's worked with some of the names that I love, and I love seeing her work. And I was trying really hard when I met a lot of these other influencers to
Mm-hmm.
not be kind of a starstruck,
Yeah.
because I'm a
Yeah.
fan, man. I am a fan before anything. So I go up to her, I introduce myself, and I tell her, "Hey, I'd love to work with you in the future. Hopefully, I can do something." And a lot of times, I feel like when we say that, I know I have a way smaller channel. I'm at
Mm-hmm.
16,000 followers. She's at like 49 or something like that,
Okay.
48, 49. And I knew I wasn't expecting a yes, but she's like, "Yes, of course, let's do it." But a lot of times when people tell you that, they just kind of tell you that, and
To be
nothing ever
nice.
happens.
Yeah.
To be nice, right? To
Mm-hmm.
get the like,
Yeah.
to get the follow, whatever. So I follow her, she follows me back, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, a verified account's following me. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,"
It's real now.
So exactly, I was like, "Man, I'm doing something right." So I messaged her, I think it was a month ago, and I was like, "Hey Gabby, remember we talked about collaborating?" She's like, "Yes, I've been meaning to hit you up as well." And I was like, "Oh no way." So I sent her the idea, and she liked the idea, and she's like, "Let's do it." I went out to Paramount, and we did it, man. I was in Los Angeles, which was last weekend.
Got
We
it.
filmed it on Saturday. I edited on Sunday. We posted on Monday. So yeah, it was really cool, man. And by the way, we've got some things that we're working on together right now. So some ideas are being thrown around. So you'll see a lot more of Gabby on my Instagram.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I can't share right now, my man. I don't want to spoil the surprise,
Okay.
but we'll have something very soon for you guys. As soon as she's back, she's out in the Dominican Republic right now herself. She's
Ah,
working
nice.
with some show out there. I can't say much on that. I'll leave it up to her, but she's working with some show out there right now. She should be back, and once she's back, we'll get back to work.
The reason for 101 North
Right.
is to showcase that even if you're from Oxnard, because when people think about Ventura County, they
Right.
usually exclude Oxnard, right?
Correct.
Because they just think, oh, anything below the grade, like, don't worry about it.
Right.
Stay up north, or south, sorry. But it's like that, you know. As long as you're slowly grinding, you kind of make it to where you want to be. You work with who you want to work with.
Right.
It's just about hustling.
Right.
So my question to you now is, who do you want to work with now? Who are those next people you have a target on that you're like, you know what, I need to work with them?
Some of the people that I have on the list
On the list.
on the list is obviously Jay Valentino. Jay Valentino is one of, to my personal opinion, one of the most creative people on Instagram right now for the Latino community,
Mm-hmm.
and just in general, man. He takes things. He does kind of like covers for songs, but he does Spanish versions of a
Yeah.
lot of like very popular songs, and his level of creativity is just insane, man. So he's one of the names that I'd love to work with. Also, Mexican Ways. I would love to work with Mexican Ways, both Heido and Brian. I also think they're extremely creative, really relatable content. Jay Mendoza. Jay Mendoza is another name I'd love to work with. We also have Legend. Legend's another name I'd love to work with. But if I can put one over all of the names that I'd love to work with, and a lot of them are from the Latino community, would be
Mhm.
Lejuan. Lejuan James, man. It's to me would be kind of like the okay, mama, I made it. You know what I mean? Like just being
Yeah.
able to help him with anything, man. Even holding the camera for him or doing
Oh,
something
yeah.
like just working with him would be extremely empowering. Which, by the way, I met his mother.
Oh,
Yeah, I met his
How?
mother
How?
at Hispanicize. At
Got it.
Hispanicize,
Got it.
she was one of the guests that was invited, and I met her, and she's extremely sweet, man, extremely sweet. Both mother and father are extremely sweet. I see why Lejuan has his is the person he is, man. He has great parents. So yeah, those are the names that I'd really like to work with, man, and continue working with my community, continue working with people that want to take it to the next level. I think over everything, that's what I want. I want to work with more creatives that want to push the envelope and want to get to the next level.
What would you say? I mean, what would you say to someone that is trying to start and maybe they're like, you know what, there's already too many comedians. You know what, there's not enough here in the city to film. I don't know what to do. What would you tell those people?
Honestly, man, I would say, first of all, if you're having those doubts, it's one of the things that I like to say is if you can't bet on yourself, then nobody else will. If you're doubting yourself already, then really there's no point. I'm not saying don't do it, but my biggest piece of advice would be you just have to take a leap of faith and do it. Jump off of the airplane and build your parachute on the way down. You just have to go for it and be consistent. consistency is key over everything. There's been times where I get too busy and I can't create content, and I realize that my numbers go way down, man. They dip. I become irrelevant in the social media community, and then all of a sudden I start creating content again, and it's like, oh, Rico's back. But I would say commitment to being consistent.
I mean, with consistency and like you're saying, you dip, right?
Right.
Well, if you stop, because it's funny in the social media world, as you could say, as messed up as it sounds, like people only remember you if you're consistent. Because as soon as you drop, that's it. Because everything's moving so fast.
Right.
So fast.
People see the finished product, man. People don't see the struggle. They don't see the difficulty. They don't see the hard things that we go through as content creators. I'll tell you something that, for example, I went through. I remember when I first started reaching out to some of the names that now want to work with me, and I was left on red.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember that. And now that I am where I'm at, not saying that my channel is big, because it's not. I mean, it's only 16,000 followers. To a lot of people, that may be a lot. But to me, it's like I always see opportunity for growth. So I remember when I was at 10,000 followers and people didn't want to work with me. It's like, oh, well, who are you? And I was like, look, I just want to collaborate. I just want to help.
I mean, video creating, content creating, I think people don't understand how much work it actually is, right? So
Yeah.
I've been doing video now since I was like 17.
Right.
And you get to a point where it's just like your creativity has to be on point or else things just go stale. And with comedy, it's all about timing too. So how you edit and what you decide to leave and what you decide to cut out. So
Right.
what was your journey through that? Did you already know how to edit? Did you just pick up a camera and you were ready to go?
No, man, I did not. When I jumped into this, man, and I started editing, I did not know what the heck I was getting into. I knew how to edit cinematic videos. I knew how to edit promotional videos for businesses. I knew how to do all that. I had already been doing it for myself, and it was very, very artistic stuff. But when you get into the comedy side of videos, it's very different. It's very boom, boom, boom. Like it has to be cut, cut, cut. The music has to be on point. You have to put the sound effect at the right time, and it turns into something that you have to really study the art.
Oh yeah.
Like, for example, you guys see the 1 minute video, the 45-second video, but that 45-second video took me like 4 hours. Why did it take me 4 hours? The drive to the place that I'm going to filming the video. And remember, not everybody's good in front of the camera on the first try. You also have to, you have to be mindful with other people as well. Get them comfortable, work with them. So depending on the level of talent that the other person has as well, it's how long it's going to take you to film that 1 second or the 1 minute video. Exactly. So also the editing, man, the editing portion is tricky, because there's been times, like, for example, I'll tell you this, the video that I did with Gachi, one of the girls that I'm working with often, which is he's Rich.
So let's actually, so as you guys know, these podcast interviews are also being filmed and they're going to be up on the YouTube channel 101 North. We're still figuring out a date, but I want to say that by the time you're listening to this, it's either going to be January 20th or 21st, right? So to the people that are just listening to it and not watching it, remember, if you want to see some of the content that we're actually talking about, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you could watch it. So right now we're going to play that video that he's talking about, which is this one, right?
Yes.
Let's see.
Hey, I saw you walking by, and I had to come over and tell you, I think you're pretty.
Thank you, weirdo. AirPods? No home button? Rich.
I thought you said you had a boyfriend.
No, but he's broke. I mean, we broke up.
Oh, so you're single.
So,
Well, all right then.
alright.
I saw you walking
Yeah,
by,
so
and I had
as
to
you
come
see
over
there,
and
you have to be on point with the sound effects, man.
Oh,
The
yeah.
music has to be on point. The music has to be relatable. It has to be something that other people have heard. You know what I mean? So the key to me with my videos, my content for comedy is relatability
Exactly.
and having the ability to also know timing. So I feel like being a creative is not just that's why I can't say that I'm a comedian or that I'm a vlogger. No. I consider myself a creative and an influencer. Being a creative is very difficult, and you know this, man, because you do photography, you do the videos. So you have to have that creative eye. You know what I mean? One thing that I would like to say is, like, for example, I can teach you how to record and edit these videos, but one thing that I'm never going to be able to teach you is creativity.
Exactly.
If you don't have creativity, man, you cannot learn creativity.
Mhm.
Creativity comes from within. Like, you have to be creative on your own.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where it gets tough, man, because yes, maybe you're able to edit a sick cinematic video, an intro to an amazing quinceañera video or an
Mhm.
amazing wedding video, but then I put a comedy video in front of you, and if you try to edit that in a cinematic way, it's going to be kind of like, wait, is this a commercial? Or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
The punchlines aren't going to be as funny. So it's just, it's a very big learning curve, man. I had to get out of that cinematic view and then jump into, okay, this is a comedy skit or comedy sketch. I have to get into this.
yeah. So you say you want to do like all of your stuff here is
Right.
relatable, right? So
Right.
how do you come up with ideas? Do you just sit there and wait for an idea to come, or something happens in your life and you're like, you know what? Let's like this one. Let's play this. Actually, don't know her name. What's her name?
Oh, yes, Gigi Ortiz.
Gigi Ortiz.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, of course. I had a really good time.
Me too.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah, most definitely I will. Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye.
You forgot your purse.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'll see you.
Well, text me. Call me.
It's like, how do you pitch that to someone? How do you tell her, hey, or was it her idea?
That was actually her idea. That was her idea. For that video, for the series that I did with her, I think it was 2 or 3 videos with Gigi. Great person, super cool girl. We were kind of bouncing ideas back and forth, and
Okay.
it was relatability, and there was a conversation that we were having. It was just kind of a random conversation, and one day we were like, yo, you ever been on a date where like you really gotta like, you know, use a restroom or you gotta fart or something?
Mhm.
And she's like, oh my god, yeah. And I was like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah. And then I'm like, she's like, imagine if like one day you were caught and like you're like waiting at like outside of your house and you like lay one, and then like the guy or girl that you went on a date with
Yeah.
is like there. How embarrassing would that be? And she's like, oh my goodness, let's make that a video. So I was so into it. I was like, all right, cool, let's try it out. We did it, and it was a hit. It was good, man. It was good.
So see, I just thought of something. For all these videos,
Mm,
you're in the video, right?
right.
Who helps you film them?
For that video, it was my friend Chino Barrios.
Okay.
He's from out there, which I met him through my friend Londi. So it's either people that help me, or a lot of times the still footage is put on a tripod, or
Okay.
like for example, I've done other videos with Londi, where she films me and I film her. It was 50-50.
Got it.
But it just depends, man. You get creative, but also the man behind the lens, the man that makes it happen for me. A lot of times, all the videos that look better
Mm-hmm.
is my boy Munchies, Ramon. Munchies 104 on Instagram. This guy is extremely, extremely talented, man. He's young, an extremely talented upcoming producer, director. This guy is insanely, insanely talented, man. So whenever I have the honor of working with him, my videos look extremely better, bro. He just he's got that creative eye, you know. He does. I just hand him the camera, I tell him the angle, and boom, we're in. I don't have to tell him how to film. No, the man knows what he's doing. So when I've had the honor of working with him, my video is just like 10 times better, bro.
And I guess that's where the saying comes, right? It's not what you know, but who you know.
Exactly, 100%. And also helping each other develop each other. Like, for example, Munchies, he's working on a production company himself, where he's going to be working with other businesses and doing stuff like that. So exposing each other, helping each other, using each other's network to expose each other and get out there and know more people. So it's something that we've been doing. And yeah, you know, like I said, the times that I've had the pleasure and the honor of working with him, my content just like it just skyrockets. It looks a lot better.
Yeah, man. It's always good to have that person that you know that
Right.
they could take it from you.
Yeah.
And you
most
just
definitely.
focus on, in this case, you just focus on your comedy.
Exactly. And it takes a lot of stress off of my shoulders, man. Like, for example, the video that I filmed with Gabby,
Mhm.
that was filmed by Munchies.
Mm.
He took care of filming it, and I edited, of course, but he took care of all the filming, and it just takes all the stress away, because I'm not worried about, is my battery good? Is the memory card good? Was this shot good? Did this look good? Like, nah, he takes care of anything and everything that has to do with the camera. He takes care of. So that takes a lot of the stress off my shoulders. So
Yeah, man. That's needed. That's definitely needed. Is there anything you want to let people know? I don't want you to give me all your secrets, right?
Right.
I want people to follow you, RicoJay_.
thank you.
I want people to wait on what's to come. But is there anything you could give me?
All I'm gonna say is that my publicist is doing some really amazing things for me this year. That was actually one of the opportunities that came up. Barbara Sanchez, she's my
Barbara.
publicist, Miss B. Miss B805 on Instagram. She has opened some big doors for me, and you'll see me collaborating with some pretty big artists in the next couple weeks. So I'm actually a big fan of one of the artists that I'm gonna collaborate with shortly. I actually might be working with him, meeting with her this Thursday in 2 days, and then I think the following Monday I should be out in LA working on some content with this guy.
Well, you guys heard it here. 101 North,
Yeah,
Rico. It was definitely a pleasure having you, man. I'm excited for people to know what's going on. I'm excited to people to hear a different side of you that maybe they don't get to see through your Instagram. You know, so I think I'm gonna leave it there for now. We'll
cool.
kind of see where this goes.
Most definitely, man. I want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to work with you. It is definitely a pleasure. I'm excited to hear this and watch this. So most definitely, you guys, if you're out there, if you're watching this, if you're hearing this, make sure that you guys subscribe. You follow this guy. I feel like you're definitely taking this. You're taking this to another level, and I support any creative that wants to work in our community, bro. Because the closer we are, the more that we support each other, the farther we're gonna get. That's one thing that I do that I will leave everyone with. Remember, collaboration is key to growth. Together, you'll go farther, and that's what I'll leave you guys with.
Man, I can't top that. Rico, thank you, man.